Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another casted game. We're on the ladder tonight, and we've come across Revnak taking on Ungurs. Both of these players are involved in the Eastlock Premier League for actually playing for the same team, the Crassier Management Company. So this has turned into a bit of a practice game before the series or before the tournament starts. However, though, this is on the ladder, this is rated, so Elo is up for grabs. Revnak spawning to the south of the map, Wallachia in the colour red, playing as the Indians. Ungurs will be spawning to the north of the map in the colour blue, playing as the Haudenosaunee. Revnak there, starting off with a 15 food treasure plus 35 food, 15 XP benefit. Moving off with explorers to the west side of the map, crossing the river, looking for some of the stronger treasures. Does see two marauding Cossacks, but I'm not too sure Revnak really wants to take that treasure. Is actually coming across here the story of an Ottoman standard bearer who severed the Tsar's supplies. It's got away, come back. Worth 100 XP. Apart from the texturing, actually 100 XP for 2 Clefits and a Haramja is actually quite good in the sense that all these units are skirmisher based. They won't do much melee damage. And Revnak is eyeing this up, but along comes Ungurs. Actually sees the 2 elephant explorers of Revnak, and that has to force away the 2 Indian explorers. Indian explorers in Age 1 are not very good in combat versus other explorers. Let's ride with Ungurs for a little bit, see what he's up to. His explorer at full HP. Not messing about, just dominating the battlefield, walking through. It's gone for an H1 trading post. I built it on the far western side of the map, nice and safe, nice and out of the reach of any potential Indian aggression. Converts a marauding Cossack and runs away with his life. Cossack here, looking to potentially get some raiding done, be a bit annoying. Obviously, it's not going to kill any villagers or buildings due to negative multipliers, but the elephants here from India can't really catch up to it because he does still moves at a decent speed. Slightly slower than Indians, Revnak's explorers. I don't think he really minds too much. And actually, Revnak being cheeky, going behind and picking up that single Cossack and the 90 gold it guards. I can't think Ungurs minds too much, otherwise he would have taken the treasure if he had that choice. 40 gold here. About half the value of the 90 gold treasure, and then there's 90 gold by 2 gunmen as well. Revnak looking to age up here, dropping an in-base aggro fort here, not going for Carney Martyr. That meta has come a long way, the in-base Carney Martyr play, so Revnak looking to go in-base. I think one of the benefits of the in-base Carney, or the aggro fort over the in-base Carney Martyr is you can, in a weird sense, allows you to boom even harder with the aggro fort, in the sense that although you have a little less gather rate and you don't age up the resources, you got a big fort in base, so you can be as greedy as you like. You can send in your trickles. You don't have to worry about military for a while because you've got a large tower here doing some massive damage, especially to infantry formations with the 3 splash attack. Garrison point, line of sight, and allows Revnak to play around the fact that if Ungurs wants to push through the town centre and aggro fort to get to the villagers gathering behind, it's going to be rather tough in that situation. Not used to seeing in-base aggro, so I'll be interested to see how Revnak wants to play it. I do note his deck does have a water deck here. First card, Distributism. Potentially going for fish markets. Doesn't have rendering plans in the second age, but has 2 caravels and double naval card upgrades, European cannons and improved warships. Improved warships being a 25% combat card. European cannons giving your warships 2 range. Third age, there's no Hirumi in this deck. There's no sepoys in the deck as well. It just seems to be Gurkha, Zambrak, and a whole heap of elephants cards. Royal Mint and a frigate ends up finish up that roster in the third age. Meanwhile, big boy Ungurs, most improved player of 2022. Can he be the best player in 2023? Can he defeat the current best player in the game, Revnak? Sending 3 vills, card 1, that's coming. Now gone to 5 vills. I believe he's aged up the 2 villager and 1 healer on the tribal marketplace or the community plaza. And the 2 villagers, 1 healer was a way to nerf the 3 villagers age up that the Haudenosaunee had, but Ungurs actually argue that having a single healer on the community plaza, which gives an income of 0.6 XP per second, that's essentially half a trading post. Ungurs says that's a good trade, and he's actually very happy to have that healer working for him there, gathering XP, and he thinks that's a slight buff compared to 3 villagers. Looks like Ungurs here going for a semi-FF build with the 5 vills, or, I mean, as fast fortress as Ungurs can realistically get, now sending in the mixed crates, 300 food, 300 wood, 200 gold. Has quite a lot of gold in his stack already, so I'm sure most of the villagers now will transition onto a food-based economy when these crates come in. These villagers looking to gather that up. It's really awkward to try and gather these crates up. They are spread around the town centre in single piles, but Ungurs here will focus on the food and the gold and will soon be aging up thereafter. Strong explorer here, still putting pressure on these treasures. Can contest. That XP treasure in the end did get picked up by Revnak, who's very happy with that. Also gone for another TP. Training post is India. Very, very nice. Does suggest a bit more laid back defensive play. Just get those economic shipments going in. 700 wood into 300 export now. Likely to go Ottoman consulate for the Hussars and the Azaps. And I do see quite a few Rajputs crossing the map. There's the 2 Egypt seapoys from the Wonder. But we're already up to 7 Rajputs crossing, and we've already seen in recent videos how strong Indian Rajputs are. Currently, 1 dock has been made, and Revnak has transitioned onto water play. Our Haudenosaunee player here has not gone for water himself, and went for the trading post, going for the income, XP income. The Rajputs sense this, and they're going to go out and try and siege this trading post down. A gunman and a dog has been converted to try and help and actually kill these Rajputs, and actually managed to pick off a unit here with the Explorer, which is, I suppose, makes sense. And the dog and the gunman have killed another unit, and these Treasure Guardians and the Explorer combination have actually killed 3 units, which is, it's not insignificant. Like, Rajputs, they cost 125 resources. That is a lot of value there from the converted gunman. 36 damage on range attack, and he will try and get 1 more shot. And that is that will tank it. Explorer here has to move back. But he's in the 3rd age now, so the Explorer is actually really, really strong. Having to sack the dog. Age 3 dog as well. Nearly picks with another Rajput. And this pressure, in quotation marks, I would say, from Revnak is not actually doing too much. That trading post is still up. It will go down, but all this harassing and fighting from the Explorer has actually made sure that there's another pass experience points there for Ungurs. First card in the 3rd age here from Ungurs is actually 1200 resources. Comes in 4 crates, or 3 crates of 400 resources, which is actually really nice there for the Haudenosaunee to pick up. Means he's not wanting to push super hard, super fast, but he does have the corral down. He will use the wood here to get he's actually going for musket riders, so we use the gold for the musket riders. Has a lot of wood here, so can go for Kanya Horseman and the Elite Kanya upgrade. May want to time it with the 6 Kanya shipment as well. Okay. Does have the war hut there for the 4 Forest Prowlers as well if he wants to go for that unit. I'm going for a Forest Prowler Elite Musket Rider composition. Really putting the pressure here onto Revnak. Gonna go straight into his base. Revnak surely thinking of wanting to age up at some point, but it's a long way from that with those early age 2 units, which actually haven't achieved too much. Villagers getting to the town centre. Aggro fort frown units, but most of these cannonballs are actually missing their target. There is a 30% range resistance on the Forest Prowlers, but bullet pool tricking as well, and the long range of the cannonballs. Most of those cannonballs are missing. A3 Forest Prowlers here walking into the Indian base. Gurkha's not ready for the combat. They can't compete. They only have 18 range. So much less attack and HP. Not even close. 115 HP, 16 attack versus 152, 20 attack with 2 more range. These Forest Prowlers will dominate this fight. There we go. 6 Kanya Horsemen. The next card here from Ungurs. His shipment in the 3rd age was 1200 res. 8 Forest Prowlers. Now into 6 Kanya Horsemen, and I believe these will be upgraded. Yeah, the elite upgrade has been researched already, and the Kanya have been sent to the forwards war hut. Notice that how Ungurs has researched elite Canyon horsemen without actually training any more. Ungurs really prioritizing and valuing the upgraded units and the strength of what upgraded units can provide. Gotta remember, the elite upgrades for the War Chief civilizations give plus 25 combat stats. They are incredibly strong. We look into the War Hut and look at the Aenas, it's 25% combat, so it's so worth it just for the cheap price of 200 wood and 100 gold. I think people forget when playing as the Haudenosaunee or against the Haudenosaunee that the whole identity of this civilization is really strong units, really good combat, really strong explorer, buffing the stats of the units, but the economy to back this up is relatively weak, and late game scaling isn't their forte, but they certainly have the cards to upgrade all the units in mid game. Warhut warrior combat, very strong, age 2 with the Warhut unit attack, conservative tactics. Cavalry upgrades are rather limited, cavalry HP. I don't think Ungurs will mind too much. It does have 5 renegade French cuirassiers, 4 buccaneer fleet as well, and then the super late game has 4 light cannons to give him that strong artillery presence, moving onto that train post and getting that siege down. What is Revnak up to though? Because he is holed up in his base. Let's look at his line of sight. A couple villas on the forward hunt. Has a hunt back at his base, not really gathering too much. Currently on wood chopping. Aging up with the Tower of Victory here, not the Charm on our gates. And I don't think we'll ever get around to seeing if the Carney Martyr will ever get used at this point. Tower of Victory will provide a lot of woods on the age up. We'll also provide the Inspiration God Power, we like to call it. Gives your units 15% combat, so 15% attack, 15% HP. I believe it also gives 10% speed as well, so all of your units become incredibly strong, incredibly jacked for a short time, and you kind of use that as your power play to crush your opponent's army if you can. But this is scary. Look at the size of the Haudenosaunee army at the front of GG Revnak's base. There's so many skirmishes here from Ungurs. He's got 23 Forest Prowlers, 17 Canyons and 14 Musket Riders. The fact he's got 17 Canyons is truly, truly scary. He sent 6 and 5, so he's trained another 6 on top of that, but that's so much units for Revnak to deal with. I'm unsure how Revnak can actually deal with this, especially with an in-base community plaza. Can put it straight onto War Dance, put villagers onto it, and clap in for a very strong timing push. Ungurs notices the threat of the in-base aggro. Potential unit pops here from the Ottoman Concert Town Centre. Shipment points. We've got the barracks coming up. Trained from the aggro fort as well. Has he seen the Tower of Victory yet? No, has not quite seen the Wonder. Okay, does see the Tower of Victory. So he knows there isn't a Mahout elephant on the field already. Just a singular one from the age up. Knows it's wood crates. And what does wood crates mean? Potential more Rajputs. Disciplined Rajputs. Infrastructure going down. Maybe Mahout Lancers as well from a stable. Going for 4 Buccaneers. Ungurs. He knows that Revnak's on the water. He can actually just look at the fish. And he notices that fish is going down or fish has been used. So he's relatively safe in sending that warship. And actually looking at the situation right now, Ungurs, he's not feeling threatened by the lack of an Indian force. Actually noticing how Revnak's going for not just 1, not just 2, but 3 town centres. The 3rd town centre getting denied. The 2nd town centre's up, and there's a disciplined Mahout pop right on top of the army. Ungurs' Explorer out of position. Minutemen being called from the top. Sepoys, Minutemen from the bottom. Double Minutemen batch from the 2nd TC as well. And there's Mahout Lancers still up. Only 1 remaining. But there's now so much anti-cav here with the double Minutemen batch and the tanky elephant here to potentially move in his snare. Ungurs having to retreat and kite out. Good micro-hypnotist player trying to recover his position from maybe going too deep. But I do notice that 4 Buccaneers do spawn on the water, and that's going to shut down the entire water operation from Revnak. So, although Revnak might be thinking he's got the better trade here, well, even that's questionable, actually. Unit good control, and the army running back to the coast to get backed up by the Buccaneers. I think Revnak has to back off at this moment in time. He's still got some sepoys into melee, but they're not very good versus cavalry these days. A couple of ASAPs in their range mode, but they need to go into pikes pretty quickly and support the sepoys. There's still elite Kanya horsemen on the line, and they're going to move in onto the irregulars. Still so many of elite forest prowlers, and now the buccaneers are just destroying the dock and all the fishing boats inside. That's so many fishing boats there from Revnak. Let's have a look. 9 fishing boats about to go down. He's trying to send a frigate to survive and try and shore up, but I don't think he needs a frigate now. I think he's kissed goodbye the entire fleet. Oh no, hasn't sent inspiration yet. It's so bad having such a strong, you know, Wanza ability in the third age. Crucial, the extra speed to chase down that army would have potentially saved his forces and cleaned this up, but maybe save inspiration for another rainy day. It does take a long time to recharge. One fishing boat trying to get out on the map, but unfortunately, rest in peace, my friend. She's going down to the bottom of the ocean. Back in on the middle fight. More elite forest prowlers catching up and pushing back in to the Indian town centre. We do note that Revnak playing is very defensive. That third town centre has gone up in the end, and he's actually training 3 villagers at the moment, or villagers in sets of 3s. That economy is set to grow, currently on 51 villagers, and does have some great scaling cards. He's already sent in the double wood trickle. Foreign log in the second age does have royal mint available as well, and that's, you're playing Asian civilization. They have decent gather rates on the berries, which are very numerous on Wallachia. Big raid here from Ungurs, chasing in musket riders. Disciplined Gurkhas forcing back this Iroquois army. Forest Prowlers, though, will get a good engagement on the elephants. Kanya's sieging down the consulate. This is the second consulate built. The Gurkhas are going to try. I don't actually think a single shot went off there. I think GG Revnak was super keen on pulling those units back, but didn't quite register a shot. Consulate Hussars being made. Will they actually come out and get away? I think that's going to get snared straight away and killed off by all the musket riders. I'm not too sure if that was a good use of export. No, they've all gone down already. And the Hussars there, they're not actually helping the skirmishes. The Forest Prowlers happy to trade here. Infantry combat here from Ungurs on these units. 22 attack, 20 range, 154 HP. Spin Gurkhas up to 19 attack, 19 range, 138, but still without the Mansabdar upgrade here from the Charmanar Gates. The ones that Revnak hasn't aged up with. It's looking quite tough. He hasn't sent in British East India Company as well, and that's a bit of a Gurkha combat card for Revnak, which he will need at some point to try and compete with the Haudenosaunee skirmishes. And at the moment, I'm really struggling to see actually how does Revnak break out of his base to get onto the map and get a victory. This is looking tight for him. Does have another Mahout population. Is he chasing down the skirmishers? Is he going for the kill right now? He sees the skirmishers, but it's so many musket riders and Kanya horsemen. He has to retreat quickly. There's sepoys trying to guard some villas in the top left, but maybe these can get healed back up by the explorer, but that's a lot of HP to lose on those elephants for really not much gains there. This is so tense. Ungurs moving west side. Doesn't see the gold one, but does see the dead animals. He has scouted the animal carcasses, and a couple of villas here will get picked off. Very nice play here by Revnak. He's just let 2 go down, hoping to have the other 4 hidden. Does Ungurs see this? No, he does not. He runs past the villagers. He's running home back to base, trying to regroup, but thinking he's killed all the villagers there, hit the jackpot. Another 4 there just hiding amongst the trees. Their lives are spared, ready to gather for another day. Revnak sending sepoys behind the base, trying to raid. Picks off a musket rider, actually. It's not too bad value. 30 range attack. Ungurs has not got his great coats yet. 2 volleys, that vill's going down. I think it does. Is he? No! Revnak's trying to out-multitask and getting a bit caught out there. Oh my god, losing another batch of consulate hussars in the river crossing. That's not what Revnak wants. He's lost the water. He's losing his most prized value assets, the concert hussars, as raiding here with a couple sepoys, although annoying, hasn't quite achieved too much, but does buy time for him to continue to be trained. Triple town centre, 65 villagers here for Revnak. Ungurs, 57. His economy also looking incredibly strong, but not feeling comfortable yet to just diving in and smashing the Indian army. Like, the scores are relatively close. It's still a close game. Quite a lot of the score here from Haudenosaunee is in the privateers on the land, which, you know, on the water, which realistically adds to the score, but it's not adding value to Ungurs. He could go water to try and take advantage of that situation, but I don't think that's what he wants to try and do. I think he just wants to try and take a fight, but the thing is, now we've got disciplined Rajputs on the field. A lot of Gurkhas, good economy to back this up, and Ungurs is making slow progress this. He's still got to go through 3 town centres and Agra Fort. Inspiration not yet called here for Revnak. Another batch of Rajputs just waiting to be called into battle. Do not want to send those in too early. Stable being thrown down, looking for more Mahout Lancers. These were Lancers which were sustained heavy damage earlier. And yeah, it's just Gurkha's just chilling. Gurkha on Forest Pride action, which I think Ungurs will be very happy with that. His skirmishes out range, out damage, out strength. And here come the heavy cavalry. They're on top of the villagers. Villagers exposed here. There's a tower victory, a house, and a barracks all blocking the path to the town centre. And Ungurs is still just trying to take this nice and slow with the skirmisher kills, but oh, there's so many skirmishers potentially going down. A lot of villas on this gold mine outside of the radius of the town centre. There's a potential golden opportunity for Ungurs to move in and pick those villas off, but it's not happening. And it's worth noting that this cav raid to the west, to the side of the base, picked up by the Rajputs, instantly killing those cavalry. Ungurs is still stuck on the right side, having to siege a couple of houses, skirm trades. Like, look at the scores. It is relatively closing. Revnak up to 70 villagers here. He does have quite a lot of idols. Ungurs up to 61. They're all fighting. But Ungurs is, you know, he's not being able to win this game within the next 5 seconds or 10 seconds, but potentially there could be something which pops out here from Revnak which could end the game. Or, yeah, he's got a Mahout being trained here. He still has inspiration. He still has a Gurkha mass. He's getting units to the top side. Doesn't have any more Minutemen available, but try and get the Elephant Explorers into the action. I think Revnak just wants to keep Ungurs interested, keep him close. Yeah, there's the Rajputs and the Mahouts going to the top side. 3 Mahouts ready to spawn. Got 25 vills in the town centre. Is this go time? It might be go time, but I don't know where those Mahouts are going. Yeah, it's go time. They're going in. And if this is the time to call Inspiration, it is. I think he has. Inspiration time has been called a bit earlier, though, than anticipated. But the entire Hero army is clustered up. The elephants are getting some massive damage. Rajputs in there as well, cutting down all the skirmishers. There's a French cuirassier trying to path, but it's just too much action. They can't get onto it. I think overall, though, the strength of the Haudenosaunee forces should reign supreme here. All the elephants, Mahouts have gone down. Gurkha count exceptionally low. And there's so many villagers exposed away from the garrison points of the Agra Fort town centre. Redcoat Musketeers intervention has just been called there from Revnak. That did boost the HP of the Gurkhas and the Rajputs. Double Rajput buff pop here. You know what? Rajputs on top of skirmishers and melee is not the worst thing going, and this Agra Fort now starting to do some serious damage. 25 splash 3, continuously been fighting and getting that damage output on his units. More redcoats being trained, but these are units we have to use to defend from the elite canyon raid on the villagers on the berries. Ungurs is taking map on the west side. Gold, town centre, war hut over there. Villagers hunting map, hunting in the middle of the map. And Ungurs is being forced back. He just can't push through this town centre fire Agra Fort anymore. He's going to lose the entirety of his forces if he carries on, but he's certainly very happy with the amount of damage he's done so far. I'm just going to back off. I was thinking, is Ungurs looking to age up? I don't think he is. Still a lot of villagers looking to hunt on the deers. Villagers on the tribal marketplace. There's 5k gold mine, 2 5k gold mines on the left-hand side of the map. Ungurs is never going to run out of gold, especially with this map control. He's not having to worry about this Now actually getting onto the water as well. Double dock being dropped down. So no drawback play. There's no way Revnak can really get onto the water and contest. Villagers starting to pop out the town centres and get back to work, but what work is there to do? All the natural resources are outside the base, and only our rank 1 player can hunt the animals away from the safety of his town centres into the middle of no man's land. If the Hero army just turns up out of the blue. A nighty night to all those villagers, I guess we'll be saying. More redcoats come out, but they're going to get picked up straight away by the Elite Forest Prize. Ungurs is saying thank you very much. And what a way to spend 400 export. What a pickup there. We love that. 67 vils from Ungurs. That hasn't been increasing as fast as I hope it to be. And at this stage of the game, I'd actually really enjoy seeing a bit of a fertility dance boom. A couple vils onto the community plaza. Speed up the village production. Also speeds up the dock production as well. And we've got loads of fishing boats queued up. Fertility dance pays off so well. Iroquois forces sieging down the houses. That's the third concert there from GG Revnak. He's built one in base, built one out to the right. Now the one on the left is under threat. I think that's going down. I'm also a bit worried here for Revnak. He's actually starting to run out of trees. He's still got a decent amount of trees. About 3,000 wood remaining in base, but after that, it's going to be looking very tight. Revnak already on a single rice paddy. That's not where he wants to be. Another batch of redcoats across the map. Where's Revnak get all the export from? We have to ask him later on and find out. So I'm unsure where the export keeps coming from. But he's actually going to move in and pick up quite a few vils. And these are redcoats. They are pretty strong. Revnak is still on 80 villagers. Like the triple town centres continuously been pumping vils. Revnak's always had access to woods in the back of his base, so he's always had resources to train villagers. But now the cat's out the bag. Ungurs sees that Revnak's on the right side trying to hunt. Oh no, look at this here for Revnak. So many vills exposed. They don't actually have their greatcoats as well, but look at the Rajputs! That's a lot of units. And actually, these units are excellent for getting on top and personal. And the thing is, it's the Madhouse going to do the damage, and the Rajputs are going to chase down the cavalry, and Ungurs has to run. He cannot fight this. He cannot fight this, and Revnak's got the counter army now. Just look at the skirmishes going down. There's no tomahawks nearby, and all the skirmishes being cleaned up. Absolutely wiped from the board, and Ungurs has to run. And the thing is, the scores now are even. The villagers are even. Ungurs 80 vils, Revnak 80 vils, 82. The frigate's being caught. Revnak wants to get back onto the water. Iro's already there. Will he let him though? I think it won't work. There is a lot of privateers nearby. I'm more worried about this disciplined Rajput Mahout timing push, because Haudenosaunee, they don't have a Doppelsonder. They do have Tomahawks though, and that's the unit that Ungurs needs, but he's not trained the Tomahawks. He's got so many resources, but he's not quite getting the right resources for the jobs. I think he's just trying to get some Dragoons out and pick off these Mahouts from range. But it's look at them. It's all the Rajputs doing the damage. These guys are so strong. 16 attack, 1.25 rate of fire, and they absolutely melt any cavalry that they touch. And given the fact that skirmishers are low HP and only have a range resist as well, they're not. Rajputs are pretty good on skirmishers if they get close. This is getting really tense. We've seen Travois dance here from Ungurs. Is he having to transition to farms at the worst time? Is he using the Travois here to tank the army, maybe? This is... How does Ungurs recover this? GG Revnak now taking the score lead. Skirmishers now picking off a couple Rajputs, but the endless stream of units is still coming across. He's still making Kanya skirmishers. He hasn't quite identified that it's the elite Tomahawks and get the big buttons out from the town centre is how he wants to play this game at this moment in time. I don't see that the frigate ever made it onto the water. Maybe he's changed his spawn point to be in the middle. Like, a forward frigate in the pond would be very strong here from Revnak. Yeah, no, he cancelled that card and wanted to send another one in the end. Forward war hut goes down. More Mahouts, more villagers, more Rajputs. Surely just the amount of Mahouts there suggests that you can't go skirmishes. You need something else, and there's still double batch of Rajputs being trained here from Revnak. He knows how to play this situation and he keeps on pushing. Meanwhile, he's at 90 plus villagers, and at home the economy is just ticking away. Rice paddies, gold mine breaking out. Everything's going the way that Revnak wants it, and Ungurs, he's at 106 population, most of it's villagers. He's got no units. He's now researching elite tomahawks, but he's got 2 war huts and 2 stables. One of the war huts is on this side, where all his villagers are, and his Rajputs here putting pressure as well. There just isn't enough units here from Ungurs, and there's not enough production. He has the resources, but he can't do anything about it. He ideally wants to get the either travois dance making war huts, but more importantly, he just needs fertility dance just to spam out the units. And there's now a Mahout raid on the right side. Villagers going down. Again, no greatcoats from Ungurs. Not the end of the world. Okay, elite tomahawks do come out and actually now starting to put pressure onto the Rajputs, but there's so many of them. Like, Revnak's allowed to just train them endlessly. There's 28 Rajputs on the field, and there's just so much damage. The frigate almost winning the fight back onto the water. Kanya's on top of the Mahouts getting caught. Villagers going down. 97 vills here for Revnak. Ungurs 83. There's 32 idle villagers. Tomahawks do come out. Big Button, I think. Second tier Big Button was called at the same time. And yes, starting to get a foothold on the western side of the map. But at what cost? He's already down so much score. There's 19 villas in the town centre. Having to send 6 Tomahawks from the second age. And his Mahouts, they don't mess around. 140 siege in the town centre. Unless Tomahawks get home and recover from this forward position, it's going to be tough. There's 2 castles here on top of that second gold mine. Rajputs crossing into Haudenosaunee side. The 2 production facilities are going down. One war hut's almost down. The town centre almost going down. There's 20 vills inside there. And the elephants are just going to have an absolute field day. Will we see another burst of inspiration? It is available. He might not need it, actually. And the villagers having to run. I'm just seeing +10s everywhere. This is a cleanup here from Revnak. And Ungurs, his opportunities to get back into the game, very limited. Where is Ungurs' production? He's got 4 war huts being thrown down, like urgently being thrown down. But this is like action which should have been done 10 minutes ago, and now it's looking tough. We still have a lot of resources, still have strong units, and Musk Huss beats kind of like Pikeman Huss. Can we get to this part of the game though? I'm not too sure. Luckily, Tomahawks in melee mode are very strong versus Disciplined Mahouts, but these are melee units. They have a higher rate of attack than the Tomahawks, and Gurkhas behind providing very good fire. And the 90 Tomahawks for Ungurs managed to achieve has just been picked off, and the GG's been caught. Revnak, is that hold of the year? Is that game of the year? That is an unbelievable defense there from Revnak. I thought Ungurs had that game sewn up, under control, in the bag, but the belief in the Rajputs, the belief in the Mahout Lancers as the game went on, and starting to reduce the reliance on the Gurkhas, actually gave Revnak that golden opportunity to break out and clean up this kind of the Skirm, Goon, Cav army. And although he did lose the water, a lot of resources were invested into trying to get that. I am speechless. I have no idea how Revnak managed to hold on to that game. I thought Ungurs was giving us a masterclass in Haudenosaunee performance and how you do secure that game. Resources, Revnak ahead. Makes sense. The military, like, Ungurs killed more stuff. He killed more units. He killed more villagers. He had more combat XP. Everything was pointing towards an Ungurs victory, but it all started to fall apart when Ungurs was, moving around the sides of the map, feeling rather comfortable. And then once the Rajputs picked off most of the army, it was, this was the main fight in Revnak's base, and this was the Mahout pop, which basically secured his survival. He lost the fight, but he didn't lose the war at that moment in time. Ungurs' army replenishment just wasn't spot on at the moment. Maybe he was thinking of going to the 4th age, maybe not. He moved around to the right side of the map, saw the villagers, but that's when the Rajputs went to town. And from there, all hell broke loose, trying to chase after 5.5 speed Rajputs. When your economy is scattered, you had map control, but as soon as you lose it, your economy is all over the place. It's hard to defend all the units at once, all the places at once. And I think Ungurs there was just a little too slow to realise that he needed to move from a skirmisher cavalry army to a musketeer dragoon-based army there to keep his villagers alive. But I think Revnak here, what I found really incredible from his play was there were no Urimi in his deck. There was no sepoys. There was a kind of a heavy reliance on, we're going to go for elephants. We're going to go for. There's not even any Dravidian martial arts in the second age, and I think that card from India players in general and Revnak will go straight back into the deck. That's a 30% attack on your Rajputs, and I think the Rajputs were the single reason why this game here was won for the Indians, and why India continues to be seen as one of the strongest civs in the meta. Like I said, this was a ladder game, either was won, but both these players are on the same team for the upcoming ESOC Premier League number 4. They're both playing for the CMCs, the Crassier Management Company, led by the Castet Geeks. So looking forward to seeing how these players go in that tournament. I think the Crassier Management Company are one of the favourites. That their team is absolutely stacked, and a very interesting strategy there from Geeks to kind of be quiet in opening rounds, let the other players do the bidding, pick up the medium players, and then Geeks at the end coming home for some big purchases. And that's content we're looking forward to on this channel, on the Community ESOP channel, and in all the other Twitch channels as well. So very exciting times. But that's it for this game. I hope you enjoyed that one. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed that one. Comment who you want to see playing next, and I'll see you in the next video.